Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's the Pimp on a Blimp coming to you live from Fort Worth at Big Laugh Comedy Club, where I'm going to be here June 22nd, Saturday night. And if you're feeling right, you got to come over here and drink some Sprite, because the ladies are going to be dripping wet, and I'm going to be driving my Corvette. So come next Saturday, June 22nd, and see the Pimp on a Blimp live, baby. Let's go.
I'm so fly, I'm aligned with the planes. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself, why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. But break them all, yeah, gotta break them all.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Prime Time with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Alex Stein, and we have an incredible show planned for you. First, we have Lila Hart in studio. Say hi to Lila. Lila is back.
Hello.
And we also have Hunter Biden's ex, I don't know if they dated, so the mother of Hunter Biden's youngest daughter. Is that the way we describe her relationship with Hunter? Were they ever boyfriend-girlfriend?
That's a good question. We can find out. We should ask her.
Oh, wait, we will ask that. Okay, also, if you guys are going to be in the DFW area and you want to see Lila and I this Saturday, make sure to go to tinyurl.com/newshow Fort Worth, where you guys can get tickets to see us. And we're doing a comedy show and a meet and greet, so if you ever want to yell at Jimmy and humiliate him or, you know, treat him poorly in person, you're welcome to do that this Saturday, June 22nd, with Lila and I and the whole Pimp on a Blimp crew. So.
Ooh.
Also, we got to do a little other ad read. Lila, you know my health is up and down, right? But right now it's doing pretty good, except for I got a bloody lip from my dental surgery. But other than that, my liver is doing great. You know why?
Why?
Because of a thing called liver health formula. I recently got my heart checked by a doctor. He said, wow, not only are you handsome, but you have an amazingly healthy heart. How do you do it, Alex? I smiled. I said 2 reasons, spin class and liver health formula. Many of us have a sluggish, fatty liver that makes us gain weight and lose energy. And for decades now, your liver has helped you with over 500 key functions every single day. It's time you help your liver. There's a solution. It's called Liver Health Formula. It's an all-natural supplement that helps recharge and protect your liver. So if you're looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, try Liver Health Formula today. When you do, you'll receive a free bottle of our blood sugar formula to reduce those sugar cravings. You get that free when you order today. If you want to look good while shirtless, you need to try Liver Health Formula. Try Liver Health Formula by going to getliverhelp.com/Alex and claim your free bonus gift today. That's getliverhelp.com/Alex. Okay.
Wow, that sounds
We got
great.
one more.
We got another ad read?
Yeah, we got all these ads, baby.
Is the AC turned on in the studio? Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll allow it. All right, there's a new movie out, Lila. You like movies, right?
Yeah.
This one's great.
Tell me about it.
I want to talk to you about a wonderful new movie from Angel Studios. It's called Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, inspired by the powerful true story of Bishop and First Lady Donna Martin and their tiny Bennett Chapel church in the town of Possum Trot in the woods of East Texas. 22 families from a rural black church linked arms and courageously adopted 77 of the most difficult to place children in the local foster care system.
Wow.
By doing the impossible, the first 76 kids were adopted between 1998 and the year 2000. Another was adopted in 2011. Sorry, I can't read. This is very emotional for me. This East Texas community proved that with real determined love, the battle for America's most vulnerable can be won, as this act ignited a national movement for vulnerable children that continues today. The first step to ending this crisis is to raise awareness. I encourage you to order tickets to see Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, today at angel.com/Alex. Again, that's angel.com/Alex. The fight for kids begins on July 4th when Sound of Hope opens in theaters. You like that movie? Does that sound good?
Sounds great. Sounds
Hopeful.
Yeah,
It is very hopeful. All right, now we have to welcome on this guest. Have you ever heard of Hunter Biden, Lila?
Yes, I have.
He's a pretty famous guy, president's son.
He likes to party.
He does like to party. We like to party too. Let's not throw stones. We like to have a good time. But Hunter Biden is not just a partier. He's not just an international businessman. He's also a father. And this gracious, young, a beautiful woman is going to come on our show and explain her relationship with Hunter and how they had a child together. And now she's on a huge book tour talking about her relationship and what it's like to raise the President of the United States grandson. The one, the only Lunden. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, Lunden. I'm so excited to talk to you. I know that you've been doing a lot of interviews, and I know that, right now it's probably kind of stressful, when I go on interviews, what are they going to talk about? They're going to talk about the same stuff. But I guess my first question is, what is it like now being a famous person, being the mother of the president's granddaughter?
Oh, I wouldn't call myself famous, but
Well, you are,
it's a
Lunden.
journey.
Come on, you're pretty famous. You don't think you're famous? Give me a
No.
break. Okay, all right. Well,
No,
that's very kind of you to say. Very gracious. Go ahead, Lunden. Sorry.
It's different. It's different than I think any other story that people read or any other story that people hear about. Because there's so much in this book. From the journey, from the time I meet Hunter to the time I have his child to now where we are. And so I can't describe, I can't give you one emotion. It's wild, it's chaotic, it's, saddening at times and heartbreaking. It's some of the happiest moments, it's a lot.
Well,
It's a lot, but it's all piled into this book.
Okay, well, everybody needs to go get out of the shadows. It's going to be a great story. But now let's talk about you. Before even Hunter Biden, you started off as a high school basketball star, and you played Division I basketball. Is that correct, Lunden?
I did.
So we have some of your pictures. So so this is a political question. What do you think about all these people being racist to Caitlin Clark? What do you think about all that?
I think that Caitlin Clark's changed women's basketball, and I think that she deserves a little bit of respect for that.
Of course. They left her off the
quite
Olympic
frank.
team. Can you believe that they didn't have her on the women's Olympic team, Lunden?
I found that out the other day before an interview, and it just, ruined my whole mood. No, I couldn't believe it. I could not.
Is it hard?
It's crazy.
Is it hard being an attractive white female in a league dominated by African-American lesbians?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm just saying, that's what it seems like. Caitlin Clark's getting beat up by Angel Reese and all these women. I think they're kind of jealous that she's like an attractive white young woman, right? Don't you think they're a little jealous?
Well, I think, and also, you got to throw in there, they're athletes. There's a lot of competitiveness, but it seems like there's a lot of pettiness too. But I don't know. I can't speak for their behavior.
Okay, and now I have to ask you this. Hunter's in great shape. It seems like you're in great shape. Do you think that your daughter, Navy, will be potentially a Division I basketball player? Is that something you want her to do as well, follow in your footsteps?
Oh, I'd love for that. I say that all the time. I've got her in T-ball, and we've been in gymnastics for like 2 years, trying to work on coordination and balance and all those things. I'd love for her to take interest in it, but she claims she wants to be a cheerleader. So
No,
but I'm not giving up. I'm working on it.
Does she know that her mom was a Division I athlete and she wants to just go be a cheer? I mean, no disrespect to cheerleaders. That's tough. They put in a lot of work. But, it's not the same as going out there and scoring the points, Being on the sidelines is a lot different than being in the game.
Somebody actually said something to her not long ago. They're like, are you going to play basketball like your mom? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to play basketball like my mom. And they're like, your mom was really good. I used to watch her play. And she goes, I've seen her before. She's okay. I was like,
she's no Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark's the best ever. That's what she's used to now. So she's probably a little jaded. Okay, so we you go from basketball, and then now next thing you know, can you describe like your relationship with Hunter? Did you guys ever have an actual relationship? Was it just kind of a fling? Were you just kind of seeing? Like, how would you describe your relationship with Hunter? From
the time I met Hunter, it lasted, it's about a year, on and off, a little over a year. But it was, he was in a dark place during that time, and I tell plenty of stories about those dark places and how dark they can get. So, and I know, a main quality with addiction is people, they come and they go. And so that was a big thing with Hunter. I don't think it was ever, we were never consistent. I'll say that.
Well, tell me this, though, and this is not a personal attack on Hunter. I actually think Hunter is kind of likable because he's relatable. I know people that have drug issues, that's really his, I guess his kind of wild lifestyle is kind of makes me empathetic. It humanizes him, right? And that's what I personally think.
That's absolutely right.
But just tell me this, though. What was the difference between Hunter Biden partying and Hunter Biden like abusing drugs and alcohol? Was it did you have fun with him, or was it always kind of like a nightmare, situation? What was it really like?
No, Hunter was a good time. Like there were, plenty.
It looks like he's a good time right there.
Yeah, no, there was plenty of good times. had with Hunter, but there was also like some dark times. And I talk about, there's a story in the book about how dark it got. And I mean, there was a night that I worried for Hunter's life. And I sat there and I watched him breathe the entire night, checking on his health just to make sure that he was okay. And I had my phone in my hand with his shallow breath, wondering, do I call the ambulance? And then, this is a huge scandal, or do I sit here? Because if he makes it, he'll be mad. He'll be mad if
if you're trying to save his life and he's not dying, he would get mad. Isn't that crazy? Well,
yeah. So I'm saying, it'd be a fun time, but there were some dark times too.
Well, how would it work with Secret Service? That's what I always wonder. Like, would he be able to just tell the Secret Service, "Don't follow me. I'm going to go hang out with Lunden," or would you be interacting with it? Like, how would that work? That seems so.
Well, no, this all came after Secret Service.
Okay, so he did, but he has Secret Service now. When his dad was a vice president, he didn't have Secret Service then.
Well, everybody thinks that like we were together when it was vice president, but we weren't.
It was during Trump.
It came like when Trump was elected. Yeah.
But still, I thought like if you're the vice president, you always have it. You don't always have Secret Service. That's not how it works, I guess.
I don't think so.
Oh wow, I need to do some more research.
Well, the vice president might. I don't think the family does.
Because I know there's some issues with that. I think it's very disrespectful that Joe Biden won't give you Secret Service, considering that I would think that Navy would be a target of somebody that would want to attack the Biden family. And
there's actually, for example, in the book I talk about break-ins and threats that we had that they didn't even know about, or did they? I don't know, but yeah, all I can say is I'm fully strapped and loaded 24/7.
Second Amendment. I don't know if Joe would like that, though. I don't know. Joe's trying to take away our guns.
It's to protect his grandchild, I promise you.
Well, have you ever got to meet the president?
No.
You got to be kidding me. And I know it's just so disgusting that he won't acknowledge a Navy, he won't acknowledge you. That's so disrespectful to me. But you guys
he actually did acknowledge.
Okay, he did, but remember the Christmas thing? Didn't he post a Christmas card and Navy was not on it? Isn't that the big conspiracy or a big controversy? Excuse me.
They've had multiple ones, but there's been some with like stockings at the White House getting left out, and then then the year that they do acknowledge Navy, they don't put any stockings up, and so that's been a big deal.
Wow.
And hey, like I said, there's some heartbreaking stories in there and angry. I mean, as a mother, it's disappointing and heartbreaking. And I tell people all the time, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, but hell hath no greater fury than a woman whose baby is being scorned.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Lunden. I'm Lila. It's nice to meet you. You're very beautiful.
Thank you.
Does Hunter have a relationship with his daughter?
Yeah, so it's also a book about redemption because, I talk about all these emotions and and I tell so many different stories as to how those emotions come about. But it wasn't until last year him and I were able to sit down for the first time since I had been pregnant. And that was the last time that I'd actually sat and had a conversation with him. And our child was fixing to be 5 years old. And we sat down and he agreed to do like Zoom calls once a month with her over, and she could pick out like a painting or something like that. And they could engage through art because two of the most important things to him, it claims, is, art that brought him out of that dark place and that addiction, and his family that also brought him out of that dark place and addiction. So they started with Zoom calls in, about once a month. And then they started developing a relationship to where then it became, once a week and then a couple times a week. And then, Navy has a T-ball game and he wants to call her and give her a little pep talk before the game and stuff like that.
And how have you talked to Hunter about it? What does Hunter's, other family members think of Navy? Do they want to be involved? Not just Joe, but, his sisters and the other people in this family?
I don't know. No, we've not really had that discussion. I'd been advised by my attorneys prior to the advice they gave me was grandparents and family normally doesn't step into a child's life until the father takes on that role.
Yeah.
And so, that was something that was new, but yeah.
It's tough. I makes me emotional too because it's just
It's tough, and
it's tough because they're wealthy and they're powerful, and Navy. Sadly, this is a harsh reality. Is we're all going to be dead. Navy's still going to be alive, and she's still going to be the president's granddaughter, right? And she deserves respect for that because any lineage to a president of the United States, whether we like him or not, is a big deal. And that she doesn't get that. I mean, for lack of a better word, clout. She doesn't get that presidential treatment. I don't know how else to describe it. And it's kind of a travesty when all the other family members have that experience. So I don't know. Are you familiar with Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys?
No, I'm not.
Well, he had a daughter out of wedlock, and what he did was they did a DNA test, and he would admit. Excuse me. He would not admit that he was the father, and she could not say that she's the father, but he gave her $3 million and paid for her college. Well, after she basically ran out of the money, she came out and said, "I'm your daughter." And now Jerry Jones is trying to take back the money because she violated the NDA. Wow. So to me, and you got to look this up, Jerry Jones is his daughter. He's a family man. He's all about his family. Joe Biden's all about his family. Yet they have actual blood-related family members that they won't take care of. Why is that? Why do you think that happens, Lunden?
I don't know. And that's something that I've never been able to understand. I know, Hunter, when we were actually able to sit down and talk, blamed it on this toxic legal litigation and legal action that I had taken with the paternity suit. But that was just me trying to hold him accountable. And then, so much happened during that time. And I think, maybe his family has that the whole persona of me and that I brought this toxic litigation into their life. And so they want to keep their distance, but at the same time, it is their grandchild. And, she does that picture you showed earlier. I think, yeah, that's one of the main reasons that we don't turn the news on at the house is because Navy knows that that's her father and that's her grandfather. And she knows that's her little brother. And she's seen pictures. She's asked me questions and I've been open and honest with her about it.
Sorry to cut you off. How do you explain the relationship to your daughter that your grandfather's a president of the United States, but he's basically doesn't want a relationship? I mean, how do you explain that? It has to be very tough, Lunden.
It is very tough. It's always been, I always say, and I in the book, I give the exact conversation that I have with Navy when I tell her, who her dad is. And because she starts getting older and she sees these children who have a mother and a father. And she's like, where's my dad? Like, why do I just have a mom? Mm-hmm. And so, I tell her, you do have a dad. And I tell her, and she wants to see a picture of him. I show her the best picture that I could find of him because I've said, I will always speak highly about him, especially to her, because
that's her father.
One day, that's exactly right. And one day, the way she feels about him will solely depend on him and what he does as a father. And it's tough because and she's so young. So I've told her over and over again, he's busy. He's got things he's helping other people. And it's like when I explained to her, that her grandfather was president of the United States. And she's like, well, what is that? So I tell her about the books that we read, kind of like kings and queens and stuff like that, and how they like run countries. And then the country that we live in, he runs this country.
That's a funny analogy.
She said, well, that's why he's not been to see me, because he's helping so many other people, but he'll see me when he's done. And I was like, yeah. Well, this is where I walk away and cry.
Yeah, I know it has to be tough. Okay, so, and I know you don't want to say anything negative about Hunter, but let me ask you about your political ideology. So, are you a Joe Biden supporter? Are you a Barack Obama supporter? Would you consider yourself more conservative? Where do you put yourself on? Or you just consider yourself apolitical, just non-political? How would you describe yourself, Lunden?
I try to stay away from politics, as much as I can, because these days politics are personal. I have a child involved with a very political family, obviously. And so it's tough. It's tough to say. I've always considered myself, and I talk about it in the book, and Arkansas mainstream Democrat. I've
Well,
always
that's
considered
Hillary
old soul
Clinton,
special.
Democrat. That's not good.
Now wait a second. Now wait a second. Now.
You know, hey, you have to admit this,
It's the
London.
same state.
London, you have to admit this though. You're from Arkansas. You know everybody in Arkansas. They don't like the Clintons. Come on, you know that. I mean, I know you don't. You might want to be careful what you say, but you know a lot of people in Arkansas have issues. I have a lot of friends from Arkansas. I live in Dallas, Texas. You know, they talk a lot of smack about Hillary and Bill.
Hey, I actually have a chapter called "Not a Clinton." Because when I found out I was pregnant, I reached out to someone that I trusted and knew the family, not the Clinton family, but the Biden family and the Obamas and stuff. And I trusted him with the information. So I tell him I'm pregnant. He's like, he knew. And he said, well, at least it's not a Clinton and it's a Biden. He's like, because
the Bidens don't kill people and the Clintons do. Is that why?
He said Biden's embrace family. They're known for loving their family, and then which makes this time,
What are the key takeaways that you want people to get from reading your book?
I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of grace, and I've had to give that a forgiveness, and I've had to give that even if there's not an apology. That forgiveness is a burden. You don't want to carry that anger and that resentment forever. And so forgiveness is, something good. And it's something that it's not a burden you want to carry around your entire life. You have to forgive. And I'll say this, when I say there's dark times in the book, they aren't always Hunter's dark times. When I found out I was pregnant and we stopped talking, I'm coming back home and I'm lonely. I'm by myself. I'm going through this horrible time. And I myself go to a dark place. And I think, honestly, if any woman or anybody actually in general, but, I say women because a lot of times women get pregnant and it's not this time to celebrate. They become this burden and it's an oops,
And they get an abortion. Joe Biden's a Catholic, but he's pro-choice. So were you considering getting an abortion? A lot of people make that, tough decision. Or am I going to abort this baby? Was that ever an option in your mind?
No.
Good for you. Good for you.
No, I knew I was going to have the baby, and Hunter at first seemed to be very supportive. Or
he never asked you to get an abortion. He never said, "Hey, I need you to terminate this pregnancy."
No, he never did. He told me that he would support me mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever I needed. And that ultimately it was my decision, and he would respect whatever decision I would make as a woman. Those were his words.
That seems like a pretty stand-up guy to say that. I mean, it's like you have to drag him to court to get him to actually acknowledge it. But I mean, I'm happy he didn't say.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, I don't hear from him again.
How does he feel about the book?
I've taken a lot of time to process, his book and some things that have bbe said about me. And so, I'm
what did he say about
time.
you? Wait, what did he say about you in his book? Did he speak negatively about you?
Well, he had no recollection of me or our encounter, and I was
London. He said he had no recollection. I didn't realize that. We should have clipped that. Hey. You're telling me? Yes, Jimmy.
Well, I said, hey, though, that was a super chat question about Hunter's autobiography. Said, why did Hunter throw you under the bus, claiming he only met you during a one-night stand in his autobiography when everyone knows that wasn't true? So what are your thoughts on that?
Again, like I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know that behavior, and his behavior I can't explain. All I can say is, maybe that was his way of just avoid. It's easy to say that you don't remember something rather than,
And he probably he probably didn't even write the book too. He probably had a ghostwriter. I mean, do you think he wrote the book, or do you think he had some ghostwriter? Let's be real.
I'll be honest. I've not read it.
Uh-huh.
But I did see, the part about my attorney let me know that part that was in there. And actually, one day on the way back from Nashville, I downloaded the audiobook. So I was like, okay, let's listen to it. And I didn't realize that he did the audiobook in his own voice. And so I listened to about a minute of it, and this has been right when it came out. So a few years ago, I guess. And my hearing his voice and stuff and him talk, I was not in a good place. And at that time, there hadn't been forgiveness, and I couldn't listen to it. So I actually did not. I turned the audiobook off, I think, like 2 minutes in.
I don't blame you. It has to be tough. Okay, so tell me about a little bit of Hunter. You know, he likes to take pictures. He likes to use drugs. And I know you don't want to defame him too bad. You know, he's the father of your daughter. But can you explain, like, when you said that you were worried for his health, was he just on cocaine or did he use other stuff? Can you say?
Well, you know, he drank very heavily.
Okay.
You know, Tito's. He could drink more than anyone I've ever seen. And, you know, vodka.
What do you mean more than anybody? Because you've been to bars and stuff. Would he just drink at 9 a.m. in the morning? Would he just take a shot of vodka? I mean,
Yeah, he would drink. Some days he'd drink all day, and he could drink like a gallon of vodka.
No, he wouldn't. He would drink a handle of vodka, basically.
He could basically drink. He could drink that. There was a lot. He was really struggling.
And did he smoke crack or would he snort lines? Like, how would he use the cocaine? Because sometimes
well, I'm sure you've seen the leaked pictures, you know.
Yeah. But he would smoke crack. Sometimes they do both. You know, they'll snort some lines and do some crack. But was he mainly just freebasing or smoking cocaine?
Yeah, I think he's been very candid, you know, about his crack cocaine addiction, and which, look, I applaud. The best thing I can teach my daughter is accountability. So standing up and taking accountability for all your mistakes and everything that, you know, you're not so proud of. Because we've all done things we're not proud of. But the fact that he can be candid about that and his addiction, then, you know, you have to applaud that.
You know, there was a rumor that he did cocaine with Malia Obama. Have you ever heard anything about that with the Obama's daughters? Have you ever heard that rumor?
No, I haven't.
That was supposedly in the leak. There was supposedly
that's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one. Supposedly in the laptop, I mean, this is all allegedly, there was a picture of Malia Obama's credit card, and it looked like there was white residue on it. So I don't know if that's true. I'm just speculating that could have been, you know. Do you think it was hard? What do you think was Hunter so challenged? Because he lost his mom at a young age? Why do you think Hunter is
I think so. I think, you know, that tragedy itself, I think just conflicted him. And then I think losing Bo, because like that was his person. And I think that he fell into a dark place.
Well, did he ever talk about how he went with Bo's fiance or Bo's wife? Did he ever say how awkward that was? Don't you think that was a little weird, Lunden, doing that?
You know, it's crazy you say that in an interview today. When they say it out loud, it's like, yeah, that sounds crazy. But no, when it went public, I had actually been seeing Hunter. And it went public. And so I, you know, sent him a message and checked on him. I was kind of shocked, of course. And he actually, you know, wanted me to meet her. And they...
You met Bo's ex-wife? I mean, Bo's widow? Excuse me? You've met Bo Biden's widow?
Yes.
And she's friendly to you? That's crazy. So Hunter really does like her.
Their relationship, I feel like their relationship was kind of like something where I describe it as like an open relationship, very toxic. But I think they were just in a really dark, or I wouldn't even say dark. They had this happen to them with Bo, and I think they just leaned on each other so much, and then got into some, you know, rough stuff, and just kind of, you know, where the lines were crossed and boundaries and stuff. But I don't know, you know, I wonder now, looking back at that time in Hunter's life, like how he feels about that too. Because it's crazy when people say it out loud. Like at the time, it was like normal. Like I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, when it's said out loud, it's like, yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy. What were you gonna say, Lila?
Did he make you feel like you were his girlfriend? Did you want to like pursue a long-term relationship with him?
Well, and that's the thing, and I discussed as in Coming Out of the Shadows, is I was very detached from my feelings. Yeah. And like I had this like commitment phobia and was just kind of, you know, going off, living in the moment. And yeah, there were times, yes, and there were other times it was like we were best friends. And we had that sort of relationship. It was like, and then, like I said, it would be, you know, I might see him for 3 or 4 days and not see him for 3 weeks because he'll be gone. I remember one time I hadn't seen him in like a month, and he showed up at my door and he's like, "Hey, look at my socks." And he like pulled his pants up so I could see what they say. And it was my favorite quote, "Not all those that wander are lost." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, you could have fooled me. Where the hell have you been the last month? You know, I thought you were lost." But yeah, I mean, yeah, on and off, but more so like I felt a genuine connection with him, and I think that's what hurt so much, seeing, him having no recollection. I felt a genuine connection with him at that time.
You
And,
seem very nice.
even,
I bet would connect with you. Like, you seem down to earth from Arkansas. I imagine he probably deals with like uptight, elite type people. It seemed like you guys would get along, if I'm just speculating.
and you would think that, but about him being uptight and stuff. Like, when we would go to bars and things, like, one time we go to a restaurant in Georgetown, and he's like talking to this waitress and like being so nice and just blending in, like no one knew who he was. And he just seemed so down to earth and so humble. Like, he was just normal, not what you would expect.
Well, speaking of blending, do you like coffee? And do you think Hunter would have been a little healthier if he chose coffee over cocaine? Do you like coffee at all?
What? Yeah, I love coffee. I can't see what that is.
We're sponsored by CastBrew Coffee, so if you guys want to support our show, go to castbrew.com, promo code PRIMETIME to save 10% off. And this is Tim Pool's coffee company. We love it. It's great. If you want to support actual corporate, if you don't want to support these faceless corporate, corporate systems, you get it from a real small brewer, organic, prime times, double time grind, 2 times caffeine. I think Hunter would like that. Sorry, London, we have to do that. We have to pay the bills. We try to do it organically, but do you
totally get it.
Do you drink Starbucks? What kind of coffee do you like?
I don't really drink a whole lot of coffee.
Did Hunter drink coffee?
I do sometimes. It just depends.
Hunter seems like a coffee drinker, like painting paintings, and he kind of likes stimulants a little bit. Did he drink a lot of coffee? Did he have like an extravagant lifestyle, or was he pretty, I guess, laid back? Because he had that Porsche going 170 miles an hour. Did he act like that, or what did he act
sometimes?
Like? You did?
There are sometimes, yeah, like we stayed at like these extravagant hotels, and that's the part. Like, there's even a story in the book where we go out and he's like so humble, and I'm like, how can this guy that you would think be so entitled and so arrogant and just such a bad, I don't know what I can say on air, but
you can say whatever
somebody
you want.
that you wouldn't think to be down to earth and humble. How can he be like this? And then I talk about after we're going, and I'm staying at his suite, and it's like, this guy probably paid more for this suite tonight than most people will make in a month, average salary. And so like, I was just applauding him for being humble, and here he is. He hadn't. Yeah, I mean, he was larger than life.
Were you ever like worried with the amount of drugs that he did in front of you?
Yeah, she said that he almost OD'd. Yeah, but tell me this.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was one night, and we had a couple mutual friends that would hang out with us sometimes, and they actually got to witness that night. And I try to, like, I'm always one of them to try to keep my composure, and even if I'm rattled or anything, I try to not let it show, especially when I have 2 friends that are, over the top dramatic when something happens. And I was with them, and the night that he collapsed, and I dropped to the floor, and he's in my arms, and my friends are just like, oh my God, is this normal? Like, does he do this? And I'm like, yeah, it's normal. And like, my heart was pounding through my chest, and I can, it was a horrible night that I relive in one of these chapters. And I talk about it was, and I even say, at the end of it, I wonder if Hunter knew what he went through that night.
Probably not.
We all went through.
Yeah, he probably didn't. Because he was drinking.
And I think.
He's drunk. You don't remember. What? I'm saying because he was drinking, he was probably partying. He probably didn't remember. When you party like that, I mean, at least you get blacked out drunk. But tell me this, Leonard, how would he get drugs? Because would he ever be worried that he'd get blackmailed by the drug dealer? Like, how would he even acquire drugs? I mean, he would give a guy his phone number and they'd drop it off. I mean, it seems very sketchy considering he's the president's son or ex-vice president's son.
Yeah. Yes. He actually, he had a supplier, and I think he has spoke about her in his memoir. And so, I try to be respectful and use the same code words that he did for her. But actually, there's a story in there about me meeting
Did you do a bag? Were you the bag woman? Did you ever pick up a bag, as they say? Lil Wayne says.
No. She came in and, you know, was doing her thing with him. And she was like I talk about, you know, how she's real protective of him. And he tried to warn me beforehand, like she's protective. But she was protective of him in a different way than I was. She was protective because she didn't want to lose, you know,
Her
his
best
business.
customer.
And I'm protective because I'm like, you're taking advantage of him. But yeah, it was, I actually, there's some chapters where I discuss actually meeting her.
Oh, wow. Okay, and I want to be respectful. I don't want to be disrespectful, but this is what they say. When you use cocaine or crack, sometimes you can get erectile issues with that. Did Hunter ever have performance issues in the bed from using drugs?
Now, listen. I can't answer anything like that.
That sounds like a yes. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. You know that, London. You've heard that before. Here, show us. Take the picture of Hunter away. Is that too far? I'm just saying you've heard that before, though, when you take uppers like that.
No, I had not heard that.
Yeah, sometimes it can cause performance anxiety, performance issues. So you're saying Hunter never had any performance issues at all?
I chose no comment on that. I don't want to speak on his, you know, behaviors in that sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, now I gotta ask you this.
No, you don't kiss me though. Okay.
Okay, I gotta ask you this though. You know, in those leaked text messages, there were some text messages where you use the N-word. Did you ever hear Hunter use the N-word?
No, and you know that really surprised me when I did see that, and that really surprised me because there would be, you know, like rap songs or something that would come on, and he wouldn't want to listen to them because they would say that word. And he had made that comment before. So that one actually really surprised me when I seen that. No, I'd never heard him say that.
Okay, of all the revelations with the laptop, did you think it was Russian disinformation or did you think it was real when all that came out? Did Hunter ever tell you? Like, what was your opinion on the quote-unquote laptop?
I was scared because I didn't know.
Was Hunter taking pictures of you? Is that why? Did he ever whip out the phone and do a little selfie Sunday? Little fun selfie stuff?
I mean, I was concerned in that time. I don't know. I don't know I can't tell you, you know, the other day someone told me, they're like, no, he said it's his. And I was like, oh, to this point, I thought it was still like allegedly. I don't know. I try to stay away from it. I will say there was, you know, concern if that was his laptop being leaked. What would be on that? That would be anyone's concern, right?
There's a lot of weird stuff, yes, on that laptop, especially somebody I was, you know, romantically involved with that likes to take pictures. So did Hunter ever send you any provocative pictures or anything? Any, you know, naked pics, maybe? They call it dick pics, excuse me.
They're in the book.
They are in the book. Did he ever send you one?
Yeah, read the book.
Is that in the book? Do you talk about it in the book, though? Did he ever send you any crude messages? Because I figured that he wouldn't send you anything because you could screenshot it. So I'd imagine that his text messages to you were probably not that crazy, or were they wild?
Well, and you could always screenshot FaceTime too without him knowing.
Was he naked on FaceTime? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I was just saying, you know, like it's kind of like you say you could screenshot pictures or whatever that's sent to your phone. You could also screenshot a FaceTime or something like that, just showing it.
So what is your family, what do your parents say? That has to be kind of cool that their granddaughter is granddaughters with the president's granddaughter. I mean, that's kind of a cool connection. How is your family taking all this?
They've been very supportive of, you know, it wasn't all great and wonderful in the beginning because obviously I was having a child out of wedlock and they didn't agree with that. And I was coming home and in this dark place, you know, like I say, you know, my dad calls me and he tells me to come home and I do, but like, you know, my mom wasn't happy. And we went through a rough time during my pregnancy, but, you know, Navy has come into our lives and changed so many things. And I wish I could take full accountability for all of her brilliance, but you know, she is her father's child as well. And my family's been very supportive of us, of me, of Navy. And I feel, you know, respectful towards her father. My dad will even tell you if somebody gets to talking smack about Hunter, my dad will say, listen, that man gave me the greatest blessing I could have ever wished for, and that was my granddaughter. So you won't get anything out of me.
Okay, you have to be honest. We only have, about 10 minutes left with you. Are you voting for Joe Biden in 2024? Are your parents going to vote for Joe Biden? I think you'd have to, right? If you're related to him, I think that you're obligated to vote for him, in my opinion.
Well, see, I'm not related.
But I'm saying in a way, though, I mean, I feel like if you're grandparents and you're co-grandparents with the president of the United States,
What would you do? What would you do?
I would vote for Biden. I'd be kissing if I was you, Lunden, I'd be honest, I would have done the paternity lawsuit and I'd be kissing their butt because Joe Biden's only got about 15 minutes left to live. Let's be real. I mean, I'm not trying to mean that be disrespectful. I mean, hopefully he lives longer than that, but you need to be as nice to them and connect with your daughter as much as possible because that's going to be a story she says for the rest of her life. Even if you don't like them, it's such a huge deal to be the president's granddaughter that whether you like him or not, they need to interact or try to be as nice as possible, just so you have any connection. Because Navy's going to live for a long time. Joe Biden will be lucky if he lives 5-10 more years. We have no idea how long he's going to live. So yeah, I would be kissing his butt so that she could have some memories with her grandfather.
I think London is Trump 2024.
Yeah, I know you have Trump vibes, but. Look at her.
Like, we want lower gas prices, and we want to keep this country going.
Yeah, what do you think about that, though? What do you think about the state of our country? You're not too political, but do you think our country's doing well right now? Is Biden inflation affecting you at all, or are you doing okay?
I think you're trying. I think you're. I'm not political, but you're trying to take me there. But I can't get over you think I'm Trump 2024.
Yeah,
I want to know what those vibes are.
Well, because you're from Arkansas. I know you have a hidden MAGA hat.
That's not a bad thing.
You have a MAGA hat back there. Go get the MAGA hat on.
Oh.
If you put a MAGA hat on, how fast would Hunter send you a text message?
Oh, I'd never hear from him again.
If you put on a MAGA hat, he'd be sick to his stomach. Okay, well.
That's something, Piers Morgan brought up the other day. He said, how could you vote Trump 2024 and then look your child's father in the face again after that and co-parent with him? So that you do bring up a very good point. And I can't believe you thought I was giving off MAGA vibes.
Well, you're from Arkansas. Come on. Everybody in the South.
From Arkansas.
But people even though Arkansas is not that far south, people in the South like Trump more than, people on the East Coast and the West Coast. So, I would think that you have a lot of friends that are probably Trump supporters. Is that crazy for me to just, guess? Is there speculate?
No, I have friends that we choose not to discuss politics because I think if we do, and I've lost friends over being disrespectful and they have their right to, as an American, right, to have their own political views and whatnot. But you won't disrespect them in my house, and you won't disrespect them in front of my daughter.
That's fair.
So I have lost friends over that.
Do you think if Donald Trump got Stormy Daniels pregnant, they would have had the kid?
I don't know.
If you got pregnant with Donald's baby, would you have had the kid?
I got pregnant with Hunter.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, so Donald, you're not you don't want to do abortionists. Yeah, you believe in life. Yeah, we love that. Like we like that. I do think it is because Lunden, and you had to be. And I know you said you were not going to abort it, but that had to be a thought in your head because you're just so worried about the drama this is going to cause. Like I'm not saying that was necessarily an option, but you probably at least kind of like thought about it. Played it out in your head what that would be like. But you didn't.
There was one time where I had told him, I was like, the only way I'd ever get an abortion is because I feel like that is what's best for you. And I'd never be able to live with myself if I did that. And, him and I, which is in the book, there's some heated discussions. Our last conversation before I leave DC gets a little heated. And I come home, but he never once tried to force me to do one or the other.
I respect that a lot. So how's your dating life now? Are you seeing anybody? Are you out there, or is it hard to date considering your situation?
It's very hard to date considering the situation. And, I talk about in the book, I'm engaged at one point. Well, that obviously didn't work out.
Oh, you got engaged after Navy. So after Navy, you saw somebody and you were engaged. And do you think that the stress of the situation caused engagement to collapse, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. It drove him absolutely insane. And it wasn't going to work. And it was because of that. And that's one thing that, in my dating life, you will respect who my child's father is, or you will keep stepping. It's one of the two. And I don't care. I don't care what your political views. We won't talk politics. If we connect, it doesn't matter. But you will not ever disrespect my child's father or his family around her, in this house, around me. Like you'll have to find that respect within you.
Was Hunter the love of your life, and was he a good lover the year that you guys were seeing each other?
Love of my life.
Yeah, I mean, you have names.
Everybody seems to think so now that I've given him grace, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's the love of her life." No, it's just grace and forgiveness, that I've given him, and I cared about Hunter, and I'll always care about him because he is my child's father, and without him, I wouldn't have her.
Did he ever make you do anything sexually that you thought was a little too far? Some of the stuff. Did he ever? What's the craziest thing he asked you to do?
No, Hunter is very respectful.
He's not trying to do, something crazy, like jump off the roof,
My dad's going to watch this interview.
What?
My dad's going to watch this interview.
Okay, well, no disrespect, Mr. Roberts. It's just very curious. You are with a very famous guy, and, different guys love women differently. I'm just kind of curious of, if he was a good lover or not. But listen, you don't have to talk about that. Now, tell the people a little bit, because we only have for a few more minutes. This book, where can they find it? How can they support you the best, Lunden?
Well, actually, I should be having a website up at some point, LundenRoberts.com. They can order it there, pre-ordered on Amazon. I think it's pre-ordered on, you can pre-order on Target. There's different ways to pre-order it, but I highly recommend it. I think it's a good read for anybody.
And then now this is a hard question, and I don't know how this works, but Navy being the granddaughter, is Navy financially set for the rest of her life?
Navy will never have to worry about anything. And it doesn't, I'm not saying that because I'm saying, that Hunter or Joe or anyone has done something that I'm aware of or anything like that. But, my father has been very successful in the hunting industry, and he has everything set up for his, grandchildren. And my father's gone above and beyond for his family. And see, coming from a family like that, with a father like that, you would want your child to have that same thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. And my biological stepdad is Tucker Carlson, and Tucker's good friends with Hunter, and Hunter actually wrote a recommendation letter for Tucker's other son to get into private school. So I guess Navy will be able to get into any school in the world, right? I guess she doesn't even have to play sports. She can just go to Harvard, don't you think?
Hey, that'd be nice.
Well, the Obamas got to go to Harvard. I don't know if Malia Obama's the smartest girl ever.
Maybe they're really smart.
Come on, Lunden.
Lunden,
You think Malia, she's smoking all those cigarettes? She's not that smart. Harvard, it's hard to get into Harvard. The girl that went to Harvard in my school was like the most advanced Chinese mathematician in the state of Texas. And, I'm not even kidding. Emma Wu was her name. She was like, she won math competitions and she got into Harvard. No offense to the Obamas, I don't think their children are winning math competitions.
They could be.
Yeah, right. What's 8 times 8?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, what's 8 times?
Are you asking me or
Yes. What's 8 times 8?
64.
Okay, she can probably get into Harvard. She can get into Harvard then. That's a hard one. You knew that. You didn't use a calculator for that, Lunden?
I have my phone in my hands. I typed it in.
Lunden, what's the craziest interview you've been on, though? You've had Patrick Bet-David, Piers Morgan. What's the most offensive question that they've asked you on this, that you've just really put up the wall?
I think everyone's been really respectful. You're the only one to ask sexual questions. I'll say
that.
No,
I'm the only one? No. But we all want to know because he posts. You are. Well, we know. We've seen those leaked things. Is Hunter well endowed?
Is he what?
Well endowed. Yes. Just admit it. We've seen the picture, Lunden. We've seen the picture. Your dad's seen the picture. We know. He's got a big hog, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Admit it. The president's son has packing heat.
Oh my gosh.
That's not. He's not going to get mad if you say, "Oh, the Hunter has a big wang." I promise you, Hunter, if you're watching this and she says you have a big wang, am I right or wrong that that's not a slur? That's actually. He would probably like it if you said, "Oh, well, he's well endowed." I think he would. I would. So you're
No
saying,
comment.
so you're saying he's small? Is that what you're saying now? So now you're saying Hunter Biden?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
Was this your favorite interview that you've done?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the funnest. That's for sure.
All right.
Well, you know
Love
what?
Alex, can I say something really quick?
Yes,
to
my
her?
producer wants to ask.
Yeah,
one.
well, no, I just wanted to say I have a daughter too, and I think your daughter's adorable, and I think it's very
Thank
respectful. You take the high road because I think that would be an impossible situation, especially as a dad looking at my daughter. I'm like, that's the cutest thing ever. I want to be in her life every day. So I hope Hunter Biden
Right.
eventually comes around. But I just wanted to say that girls rule. Oh, shoot.
Thank you so much.
This has been one of the better interviews because I got a little performance enhancing stuff, London. I've been partying myself a little bit. Did you ever party with Hunter? Did you ever partake in any of the partying?
Gotta read the book.
Oh, so you did do a little booger sugar? Is that what
Now
you're
I talk about. I was young, naive, and rebellious, and I'm no saint. But are you gonna read the book?
I'm going to read it now. So now if you're hearing that you're doing a bunch of blow in the book, yeah. So I mean, you did meet the dealer, so it sounds crazy. Listen, London, you really
There's
are.
some crazy stories.
You're a very charming person, and I really respect you for being respectful, but say something negative about the Bidens. You just won't do it. You won't say anything. Give us a soundbite. Can you say one complaint about the dang Bidens? I mean, seriously. You say it's all hunky-dory. You know it wasn't that hunky-dory. They sued. They took you to court. They caused your engagement to fail. They've caused you some problems, even though they've given you a lot of opportunities and probably changed your life for the better. They still made it a tough road. So tell us what's something bad about the damn Bidens. Please say one bad thing if you have the guts.
If I have the gut.
Well, you've been very nice. If I were you, I'd be like, you know what, Joe Biden, you idiot. This is your granddaughter, Joe.
Hey, I'll tell you this. There are parts in this book where I speak my mind. I speak my mind about, my child being unacknowledged. And I speak my mind about how I feel with, Hunter and no recollection. And, there's a story that I give where, a book gets sent to the mail called Joey. And it's written by Jill Biden. Nady loves, children's books being read to her at night. So I'm going to read this book to her. I think it's great. I don't even know who sent it. And I open it, and the first page, the dedication page, is dedicated to all my grandchildren. And then she lists them by name. There are some bad things that I do say in this book, in those moments, and how I felt. But this is forgiveness. This is the redemption. This is moving on. This is moving forward, doing what's best for my daughter.
And that's good, because having hate in your heart is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Like, there's no point in hating the Bidens.
Right.
It doesn't help you.
There's no point in hating because Trump 2024.
Well, don't say that. You're going to get her in trouble, even though she is going to illegally vote for Trump. Okay, now we asked you 3 hard questions. Now, first question, I don't know if Hunter ever gave you any intel. This is a crazy question, but I'd like to get your opinion. The terror attacks on September 11th, 2001, were they perpetrated by people within the United States government? Was it an inside job? Did Hunter ever tell you?
I have no idea. How would I know that?
Well, Hunter could be like, I got confidential information that we knew the towers were going to fall down, and we let it fall down with pre-planned explosives. He never told you that?
No.
Okay, this next question.
Never shared anything like that with me.
What about the moon landing? Did he ever say, hey, London, I know something, the moon landing was fake. Did he ever say that?
Nope.
He never talked about the moon landing being fake? Okay, now this is a hard one. Did Hunter ever tell you the shape of the Earth? Did he ever say if it was flat or round?
He didn't.
Did you ever ask him?
I didn't.
He knows. Joe Biden knows it's flat.
I bet he does.
He knows the ice wall. They know it's all flat, and they know the moon
It's a
landing's
dome.
fake. Okay, and then now, did he ever tell you that aliens were real?
No.
Did he ever tell you that Michelle Obama has a wiener? Everybody knows that one. He said that. He's never said, "Oh, that's Big Mike's wiener," and that thing on Ellen.
Oh my goodness.
You know the Obamas don't even like the Bidens, too. You know that they hate on it. You know Barack Obama hates on Joe all the time. You know that. I mean, does Hunter ever tell? Hunter's never told you that the Obamas treat his dad bad. That's like the big rumors that the Obamas and Bidens don't get along behind closed doors.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Who has a bigger dick, Michelle or Hunter? Just
you
answer it.
are
Just
so
answer.
much.
London, just answer it, please. We need one bite to go viral. I'm trying to make a living too, London. I don't just have a book. I got this dang podcast. I'm trying to get clicks on the internet. Can you say one thing, just one thing about sexual perverted? That's what we want. We're sick human beings. We're basically animals. All we want to hear is about the rough sex and the crazy wild nightlife. Why is that so hard? I'm jacked up. I'm on too much right now. I gotta get the defibrillator, Jimmy. I think I'm having heart palpitations.
Got it. And he actually did have a heart attack one time. This isn't a joke.
Yes. Okay. Get Jimmy off the screen, guys. I did have a heart attack recently.
London, do you like the London Bridge song by Fergie?
The London Bridge song?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I get it a lot. Yeah, I mean, I don't have no problem with it, but I do get that a lot. And then, you have the elementary school days where kids would say London's britches are falling down instead of London's bridge is falling down. And,
And your dad hunts?
More trauma.
So you're a hunting and fishing girl? Is that why you're so down to earth?
I am. I do hunt and fish. Well, not so much fish. I don't have the patience for it.
Does
My
Hunter
daughter
hunt?
does. She likes.
Is Hunter, or he didn't seem like a guy that go out in the woods, but he does have guns, so maybe he hunts. Oh, what did you think about his criminal case? That was kind of BS. Like, I'm pro 2A. Honestly, I don't, agree with Hunter 100% politically, obviously, but I still don't think, even though he had like substance abuse problems, that he should be limited. So what do you think about all the gun charge? Can you comment on that?
I can. How many other charges have you ever seen like that?
None, really. I mean, that I know, that lied on a gun form.
I'm sure happened to several people. I think it's you can't disrespect the judicial system. You have to respect, all of that. But I don't know anybody else that's ever been charged
with lying on that form. Did Hunter ever take it to the Ukraine or China? That seems like a yes. Did you meet any Ukrainians? Was this cocaine dealer a Ukrainian by chance?
No.
So what did we learn today, London, before you go? Because I don't know if I learned that much. We already knew he had a big hog. You guys, it sounds like you had a very vanilla sexual relationship. I would have thought y'all were like swinging from the rafters and using, baldos and different devices. And, I would have thought that you guys would have had a kinky sexual experience. That doesn't seem to be the case. And you like the Bidens, even though they won't even acknowledge your granddaughter.
That wasn't the case. I just said that I no comment on that. You can't kiss and tell everything.
Yes, you can.
Read it in the book.
Well, I'll read it in the book, but I don't want to read that. I have a girlfriend that could be cheating. I love my girl, prepaid wireless. Well, London, you've been such a great sport and a great person, and I really do wish you the best. And I do mean this. I think Navy has a very bright future, not just because of her connection with the Bidens. I think you're actually down to earth. You seem like a really cool mom, but obvious. We got to get Joe to acknowledge Navy more, even though he has done it a little bit. She deserves to go on the White House Easter bunny crawl or whatever the heck. She deserves to have a stocking. She deserves to go eat a turkey leg on Thanksgiving. And do you think that will be possible, London? Last question.
I hope so.
All right.
I would hope so. If everything that I've learned about him and family, and he's been very candid about his love for his grandchildren, and he has one that loves him that he's never met, and she loves him from afar.
Would you go out with Donald? If Donald Trump Jr. called you, would you respond to ask you out to dinner? Would you go on a dinner date with Donald Trump Jr.? You realize how cool that would be?
No.
What if you had a baby with Trump's? What if you had two grandbabies from two presidents, London? You get to write 2 books.
Double the trouble. Yeah.
Well, London, once again, thank you so much. Keep kicking butt, being a good mom. And if you ever want to come back, ever plug anything, I really do appreciate everything you've said. And, I appreciate you for fighting. I mean, I know that you obviously don't want to hate on them, but hey, you went to court. You got it, all signed, sealed, and delivered that Navy is a Biden. And even if she has the last name Roberts, she is a Biden, and the world deserves to know. So I think that you fought against almost an unwinnable battle. I mean, I couldn't imagine what it's like to go to court with the president's son, and you did it and you won. So you're a badass.
That's right. And you know what? The Roberts name holds a lot of weight in Arkansas.
A lot of weight, like this much cocaine weight, like 28 grams. How much weight? You know how much 28 grams is.
Probably more than that.
All right, you rule, London. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Everybody go get London's book. Show it on the screen real quick. Everybody go buy it. Love you, London. I mean that. I don't even know you, but I love you. I feel like we're, friends forever. And if you ever need me to do anything for you, if you want me to go talk to Joe or anything, you need a representative, I would be very good. I'm not an attorney, but I am a good mediator. So everybody go get out of the shadows. Thank you, London.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I had fun.
All right, guys, we got a new documentary. Can I wipe the baking soda off my nose? All right. Obviously, guys, we have problems with our election. I mean, the world's greatest woman and majority owner of the world's largest collection of blackmail and mercenaries, Hillary Clinton, had her election stolen right out from underneath her. It's a damn shame. That's why Sarah Gonzalez and the Blaze Originals team went all the way to Michigan to investigate their newly changed election laws that I'm sure will have absolutely no impact on the outcomes of the 2024 election. Everything is definitely on the up and up over there. We're going to talk about dead voters, voter ID laws, and George Soros-funded secretaries of state. It's available this Thursday only on Blaze TV. Voter Fraud Exposed, how elections can be stolen. Use code VOTERFRAUD at blazeoriginals.com/Stein to get $30 off an annual subscription to Blaze TV. All right, Lila, before we go, what did you think about that?
That was great. That was a very interesting interview.
I know. I feel like were we too nice, Jimmy? Did we not ask her enough hardballs?
No, I think you ramped it up at the end once you got her comfortable. I think you actually did a great job. I'm not just saying that.
What did the chat say? They
wanted you to go at her, like ask about strippers, ask about this, ask her OnlyFans. But I mean, she was very clear and she was being protective of her daughter, and I think you were respectful.
She didn't want to talk about her past,
which I do respect. I kind of.
And we said, hey, come on, we won't bring it up. And I think we just wanted to be respectful to her because. This is a kid's show, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we did get a lot of sound bites about Hunter Biden's wang, so mission accomplished.
Is that good, though? Because his wang's already, out on the internet all over.
That was funny when he said she had Trump vibes.
She does have Trump vibes. You know her dad's voting for Trump.
Yeah, 100%.
I hope I wasn't too nice. I got to read the chat later.
No, you were good, Alex. Because you still did. I was wondering if you were going to do the bit, and that worked out perfectly. Her face when you had that on. She's like, oh, my gosh.
Now it's off my face. All right, guys, remember this Saturday, June 22nd, if you want to see me and the whole Pimp on a Blimp crew with Lila Hart in Fort Worth, Big Laughs Comedy Club, make sure to come see us. And we end the show the same way every time with a you-know-what.
Oh, wait, sorry. There was one $20 super chat that they were dying for me to read. Can you
why didn't you read it while she was on?
Because it had nothing to do with her. The peeper said, hi, Alex. It's me, George Floyd, from the other side. Who do you think will last longest in Fish Tank 2.5?
Who do I think will last the longest? I think Taylor will be the toughest. Just because she's from Stephenville, Texas. And Taylor's kind of like my favorite because she has East Texas vibes. But who do I think will win? Surprisingly, I think it'll be probably Jimmy. I don't know why. He's very aggressive, and I think that will help in this live action role playing game they're about to play. And you might see Primetime 99 making a cameo. So we love Fish Tank. Starts June 25th. Make sure to go to fishtank.live and sign up today. You get 30% off if you sign up before the 25th. So go to fishtank.live. Support the show, their show, that maybe I'll be making a cameo on. And maybe Lila, potentially.
Get your tickets this Saturday for our show, Big Laughs Comedy Club, Fort Worth. We're excited. It's going to be a chat rap meet and greet.
I feel like I didn't ask her hard enough questions, Lila. We got to do the freestyle finale. What should I have asked her a little harder? I want to be respectful. What should I have said that was hard? Should I have asked her if she had OnlyFans?
No, I thought I wanted to ask her more about the drug use, but I feel like what more could you have asked? Everybody knows about that.
Everybody knows he's hooked on crack. All right, well, guys, I enjoyed talking to London. She seems very nice, down to earth.
That was nice for her to even come on the show.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like I'm going to be a jerk to her. I got to be extra nice. She came on. I mean, potentially, London's going to live for a long time. So I think that Navy's going to be. I think Navy's going to end up being famous one day. So me being nice to her mom maybe will help me in the future. All right, guys, we got to end the show with the freestyle finale. DJ, hit that beat. Hunter Biden doing cocaine, and he's going way insane. Getting money from the Ukraine, and I'm getting money this weekend on Saturday night. We are gonna be doing white like Hunter Biden up on stage. And you know I'm going to rage. And I'm gonna be with my girl Paige. And we gonna be dancing and prancing and romancing. And Lila Hart will be so funny. It is only $25 of money. Come say hey and meet the pimp on the blimp. Cause we gotta meet and greet. And the show is on Main Street, Big Labs Comedy Club. Show up to the club and give me some love. We love Lila Hart this Saturday, June 22nd. Let's go. Pimp on the Blimp is out. Peace.